Photo, Mark Mulligan, Houston Chronicle. An excavator works on an area along Brays Bayou just outside the 610 loop in the Meyerland area, Thursday, January 18, 2018, in Houston. Mark Mulligan, Houston Chronicle. An excavator works on an area along Brays Bayou just outside the 610 loop in the Meyerland area, Thursday, Jan. 18, 2018, in Houston. Mark Mulligan, Houston Chronicle. Photo, Mark Mulligan, Houston Chronicle. An excavator works on an area along Brays Bayou just outside the 610 loop in the Meyerland area, Thursday, Jan. 18, 2018, in Houston. Mark Mulligan, Houston Chronicle. An excavator works on an area along Brays Bayou just outside the 610 loop in the Meyerland area, Thursday, Jan. 18, 2018, in Houston. Mark Mulligan, Houston Chronicle. Photo, Mark Mulligan, Houston Chronicle. An excavator works on an area along Brays Bayou just outside the 610 loop in the Meyerland area, Thursday, Jan. 18, 2018, in Houston. Mark Mulligan, Houston Chronicle. An excavator works on an area along Brays Bayou just outside the 610 loop in the Meyerland area, Thursday, Jan. 18, 2018, in Houston. Mark Mulligan, Houston Chronicle. Photo, Mark Mulligan, Houston Chronicle. After Hurricane Harvey killed dozens of people and swamped hundreds of thousands of homes, Houston leaders declared that major flood control improvements could be put off no longer. Projects discussed for decades would be fast-tracked. The case for widening bayous, building new reservoirs and taking other measures to fortify Houston against extreme weather now was unassailable. Congress would provide the necessary go-ahead, and the money. That was the rhetoric. The political reality has proved far messier. In December, the U.S. House of Representatives passed an $81 billion disaster relief bill that laid the groundwork for an overhaul of the aging Addicks and Barker dams, construction of a third dam and reservoir, and completion of dozens of miles of widening and deepening local waterways. Today, however, funding for post-Harvey infrastructure is snarled in immigration, border security and other unrelated issues. Its prospects were dealt another blow this week, when the Senate postponed action on disaster relief indefinitely amid budget negotiations aimed at averting a government shutdown. Now, the region's leading politicians, through a mix of arm-twisting and diplomacy, are trying to steer the flood control money through the partisan minefield. They worry that its chances dwindle with each passing day. The more time that goes between a disaster and the appropriations, the more challenging it's going to be to get funding, said Russ Papa, executive director of the Harris County Flood Control District. There's 100 senators, and only 2 of them are from Texas. You have to start looking at politics in Washington to get something to shake loose, Republican Senator John Cornyn, the Senate Majority Whip, told reporters Friday that the disaster relief provisions were hostage to political debates over the immigration status of children. People are still hurting and they need the help that the House has voted on, $81 billion, and we need to get that money in the hands of the people who deserve it, Cornyn said. Right now, all that's being held up. Federal aid has played a critical role in the development of Houston's flood control system. After devastating floods in the 1920s and 1930s, the government designed and built a system of dams, reservoirs and channelized bayous, including Buffalo Bayou, White Oak Bayou and Brays Bayou. Today, federal dollars help push through projects such as the revamped Brays Bayou project, or a $379 million widening, deepening and straightening of Sims Bayou. The federal government paid about $254 million of that project's cost, and flood control officials, based on computer models, estimate 6,500 buildings did not flood during Harvey because of the improvements. Harvey prompted calls for further federal investment in flood control. Hopes were raised when the House passed a more than 180-page disaster relief bill for victims of Hurricanes Harvey, Maria and Irma and the California wildfires. The bill, which has languished in the Senate, focused on housing for displaced families, reimbursements to local governments dealing with recovery efforts and community development money. Tucked away on p. 21, was language giving the go-ahead for upgrades to Houston's flood protection system. The bill provided $75 million for 6 feasibility studies by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and gave priority to areas that have had multiple disaster declarations in recent years, giving an advantage to counties like Harris County. A feasibility study would assess possible improvements to Addicks and Barker dams, built in the 1940s. Both dams were stressed to their limits by Harvey's record deluge. To prevent a dam failure during the storm, the Army Corps released massive amounts of water from the swollen Addicks and Barker reservoirs into an already flooded city, inundating thousands of homes. Deepening the reservoirs to increase their capacity or constructing relief canals or pipelines are among measures that have been proposed to ease the pressure on Addicks and Barker. Also on the list is a third Diamond Reservoir, a proposal that has become a rallying point for Mayor Sylvester Turner, Harris County Judge Ed Emmett, and other local officials. Before any such large-scale project, the Army Corps first would have to conduct a feasibility study to assess the condition of the existing dams, the flow of storm runoff across the region, and how the rapid development of recent decades have affected both. Local leaders unsuccessfully have sought congressional support for the study for several years as Corps money is distributed in a highly competitive process that pits such projects as harbor deepening or wetland restoration across the country against one another. The House bill's language tilted the playing field toward Houston. It gives Addicks and Barker a leg up in terms of moving to the top of the line, said Michael Strand, a senior advisor at Dawson & Associates, a government relations firm that focuses on water and other infrastructure projects. U.S. Rep. John Culberson, R. Houston, who sits on the House Committee on Appropriations and helped write the House Disaster Relief Bill, said the way representatives wrote the language narrows the choices down pretty significantly to Harris County. Because of the multiple flooding events we've had from the Tax Day floods and the Memorial Day floods, the same language gives priority to $10.5 billion in construction funding for the Corps, money that could pay for improvements to Brays Bayou, Hunting Bayou, White Oak Bayou and Clear Creek. Flood control projects on all four waterways are in varying stages of completion, in part due to constrained federal funding. We certainly can work with the House bill that was passed, Papa said. Now, it's uncertain whether Houston will receive any additional funding in the foreseeable future. There are at least several moving parts that have either directly or indirectly to do with the ability of the federal government to respond to Harvey and the other disasters, said Strand, a former chief of the Corps' Legislative Affairs branch who also served as Deputy Chief of Staff for the House Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure. Culberson said he was working with Cornyn and Sen. Ted Cruz, R. Texas, to ensure the Senate takes up the bill. I am confident that any changes made in the Senate will only improve upon the work of the Texas and Florida delegations to provide the vitally needed federal resources to our communities as we continue to recover from these devastating storms, Culberson said. Sierra Matthews, a spokeswoman for Gov. Greg Abbott, said Abbott has received repeated assurances from members of Congress that it will fund the third Diamond Reservoir and that the funding will come in the next few weeks, Matthews said. If Congress refuses to provide Texas the funding that is needed, Gov. Abbott will strongly advocate for the use of state funds for the third Diamond Reservoir, she said. As time goes on, prospects of disaster relief funding dim. If you have another disaster, the most recent disaster gets all the coverage and the focus and the attention, said U.S. Rep. Gene Green, D. Houston. We've had Florida, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, the fires in California, and now we have the mudslides because of the fires, Emmett said. He and other officials are laser-focused on getting disaster relief for the area. He said he has been talking mainly with Culberson to convey local officials' concerns because he sits on the Appropriations Committee and because he's the right person in the right place to be doing it. Members of Congress always try and get their priorities into whatever bill is moving. There is always a trade-off, Emmett said. That's something I don't even worry about. Whatever is going to happen is going to happen. Emmett also is looking to the state's $10 billion rainy day fund. Emmett said a roughly $500 million investment in planning and construction third reservoir, for example, would require only 5% of the rainy day fund. The investment likely would be spread over several years, instead of spending $500 million all at once. A third reservoir likely would be built northwest of the city, possibly in Harris County or Waller County or a combination of both, where there is enough open land to use as reservoir land. I'm suggesting that the state of Texas use their rainy day fund and say, look, we will put up the money for the third reservoir, Emmett said. That way we are not even subject to what goes on in Washington. State legislators would have to vote in favor of using the fund.